Hi, it's Jenny with Jenny's Wreath Boutique, and in this video I'm going to share with you how to make a purple fall wreath using these artichokes and this other greenery mix. I'm so excited. Ever since I did an unboxing with these artichokes, can you see those? You guys have really been wanting me to do a tutorial with them, so I am. And since everything I'm using here is wholesale, I am offering a kit so you can buy exactly what you need for this wreath if you want to make it, or just use the colors and textures as a guide and make something using whatever you have available to you. But for those of you who want to use these exact materials, I do have a kit linked in the description. I'm using a 14-inch grapevine. You can grab a kit with or without the grapevine. It's up to you. I know a lot of you get your own grapevines. So this wreath is going to be about 24 inches total, perfect for a regular size front door. If you want to make a larger wreath using an 18-inch grapevine, I would recommend getting 2 kits because that's going to use a lot of florals. We're using this gorgeous purple eucalyptus spray. Isn't it beautiful? I love this. And then also this shape. So we've got 2 different shapes, a little bit different color, but very similar, just to add a little texture. And then three of these. We've got 1 big artichoke per stem, and then a smaller one, and then a bud. Look at that. So pretty. Then we have these thistles, which I love. The texture is so good, and it really complements the artichokes, right? A little puff of green. And then I have this dried grass. It's faux, so it's much cleaner than actual dried grass. It's got a hint of that purple in there, but then a little bit lighter color, which is great. And then to tie in the greens from this, I've got some olives. Aren't those beautiful, these olive branches? And that's gonna add a beautiful richness of color. It just goes so well with these artichokes. And of course, there's that detail of the olives. So this is everything all together. I'm also using my favorite hot glue gun and hot glue and my favorite wire cutters. All my tools are always linked in the description under tools. For this wreath, we're going to add in 1 layer at a time. I'm going to do the greenery first. So I'm starting with this purple eucalyptus. So I'm just cutting the stems. And I'm just cutting the stems, so I have picks like this with 2 or 1. This color, by the way, is so popular this year. Everything that has this color in my shop has been selling so quickly, starting in July, which is kind of crazy. You glue the stem, place it along the grain of the grapevine, and we're facing it out so it really sticks out a lot further. And we want some pieces to stick out on the inside, some on the outside. And since our artichokes are so large and we're using a 14-inch grapevine, we want to make up for that size by really letting our greenery stick out far. Okay, I made it a tad thick on one side. I'm going to take this piece. If you make it too thick on one side, just take a piece from there and place it on the other side. It happens. Okay, now that our first layer of greenery is on, we're going to add our second. And I've already chopped it up. All I do is I chop 5 pieces. So right here and here, right here and here, and then one right here. And that gives you 5 nice picks, perfect for this wreath. And we're just going to place this in the middle and angled out, just really evenly around the wreath because we just have 5. Everything I'm using in this wreath is very good quality. Just excellent. I love it. And yes, it's a lot cheaper if you make it yourself, but it's still on the spendier side just because the materials are such good quality. But this is a wreath that you can make and it can last for years and years to come. I feel like that's a lot less wasteful. Just get good quality that will last a long time and is classic. So there's all the purples so far. Isn't that pretty all on its own? I love the purple greenery. It's so pretty. Now we're going to add in our olive branches. And I'm just cutting them into pieces like this. Each stem has 3. You can cut them shorter so each stem has 6, but this is good for me. And you can twist the leaves if there's too many facing backwards. So see how it's like that? Most of the leaves, if you face them, they kind of turn in, but they sort of face out at the same time. So I like that. So I'm sort of doing every other. So some will point, some will have the longer side on the inside, some will have it on the outside, just to mix it up a little bit. And I really like this pop of green. It really goes well with the artichokes. All right, there it is with the green in it. So pretty. Now we're going to add in our grass. And these are super easy. You just chop off down here. There's 5 stems. And place those evenly around. These are my favorite kind of stems, by the way. They're not too big and they are nice and sturdy and they're long enough, but not too long. It's just perfect. I love how this kind of lightens it up a little, you know, so pretty. Now it's time to add in our artichokes. I'm going to take the leaves off. You can add those in if you want. They are bright green, which is why I added the olive leaves, because see the green on the petals of the artichoke and then the green leaves. I just think the olive leaves are the perfect shade. Now, one thing to keep in mind, these are thick stems, so they are a little bit harder to cut. You just kind of have to, whew. So the metal part in the middle isn't super thick, it's kind of thick. It's just getting a grip over the whole thing. And you only have to cut 3 of the thick ones. These cut really easily. So I have the stem about that length, and then I'm keeping these together. Love, love, love. All right, I'm gonna add in my large ones first. And these stems don't bend super well, so I'm gonna kind of place them in at an angle like that. So they're not straight in, but they're just angled out a tiny bit. And you gotta find a spot in your grapevine that's big enough so you don't want too tight of a weave. There we go. So pretty. Oh my gosh. Since I didn't get it super far into the grapevine, I'm just adding a little more glue along the stem just for safety purposes, but gorgeous. That is a statement. That is a statement. I love it. Oh my gosh. Gosh, these are so pretty. Okay, for this one, it's not going in very well. So if you're having that problem too, what you can do is just lay it along the grapevine, kind of push it in a little bit. You can kind of see here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some floral wire. Can you see that? 24 gauge floral wire. You don't have to do this. But since I ship mine and who knows what kind of treatment they get in those boxes, I always like to be able to throw my wreaths like a frisbee and they will be just fine. They look beautiful and delicate, but they are very sturdy. This is one of the ways I do that. So if I'm not completely confident, I will add some floral wire. So that will really hold the stem in place. And then I'm also going to dab a little glue where it does go into the grapevine just for extra hold. These are extra steps you don't have to do if you're making this for yourself. Sometimes for this kind of stem, you can pull the hard plastic part off and there's a nice thin wire stem underneath it. But for this one, when I did that, I took it out of there's a styrofoam piece holding this together in the middle. You can't see it, I mean, but it makes it nice and lightweight. So for that reason, I couldn't really, but one thing you can do, I'll show you, just little extra tips for you in case you're having a hard time. I want to show you all your options. There's enough room that you can kind of cut up the stem. This is actually a great idea. I should have done this before. So I'm just cutting up the stem, making a slit, and then I'm going to cut around to cut that plastic off. And then that little extra inch at the bottom, or you can cut up higher if you want. That extra inch at the bottom is going to go into the grapevine really, really well. And so you can stick that down and curve it up a little bit. Oh yeah, that's actually a lot easier. Look at those artichokes. They're beautiful. I love. Okay, now we're going to take these and stick them in between each artichoke, each of the larger ones. This is going to really just make it look so good. And that brings the artichoke texture out. So it's not just in the middle. And these are really bendable, so you can move them around to have them placed however you like. So there we have it with our artichokes in it. Oh, it's beautiful. I love it. Now I'm going to add in our artichoke leaves to add in some of that green again. We're going to add the longer ones on the outside and the smaller ones on the inside because we don't want the inside just to be a dark purple ring. And the green really helps to break up a lot of that purple. And I'm only adding these leaves on the outside underneath everything because I don't want them front and center. I don't want you to even notice them, but they kind of just add a nice little green backdrop. And there's only 3, but it's those little details that make our wreaths extra special. All right, and these 3 leaves are going to go in the middle so that we don't have just a ring of dark purple. Got to have a little green to break it up. Just a little. All right, now we're going to add our thistles. Got 2 stems of thistles. And I like it because they almost look like mini artichokes. I mean, not really, but the shape and texture is very similar. Wow. These are like the cherry on top. I like that this brings a little bit of green. Oops. But like a fall colored green. More olive toned like the olive leaves. So fun. Oh my gosh, what do you think? Oh wow, this is such a pretty wreath. Look at those details. This is so beautiful. I hope you love it too. If you love purple and fall, this is the wreath for you. Like I said, I will have a kit until supplies last for this. Oh, and I will show you a close-up right after this. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.